Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari. So when I say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, you respond after me, yeah? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today I'm reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, commentary by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Chapter 1, Observing the Armies, text number 41. Does everyone know Sanskrit here? Like the Roman? No? Okay, that's okay. I'll do it myself then. I'm just asking. Okay. Otherwise, I would ask you to do this computer thing. Okay, no problem. Okay. Sankarya Narakayeva Kula Granam Kula Shacha Patanti Pitaro He Esam Kripa Pindu Kriyaha Sarakonaika Eva Kula Grana Kula Shacha Patanti Pitaro He Esam Lupto Pandra Kriya Sarakonaika Kula Kriyana Sam Kula Shacha Pitana Pitaro Esam Lupta Pendo Kriya. So when I say the Sanskrit, you can repeat the Sanskrit, and I say the English, you repeat the English, yeah? So Sarakaya, repeat after me. Such unwanted children. Narakaya, make for hellish life. Make for hellish, yeah. Yeah. Eva, certainly. Kula grihanam, for those who are killers of the family. Kulasya, for the family. Cha, also. Patanti, fall down. Pitara, forefathers. He, certainly. Some of them. Lupta, stopped. Pinda, of offerings of food. Udaka, and water. Kriyaha, performance. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes the hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family traditions. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performance of offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Srila Prabhupada's purport. According to the rules and regulations of fruitive activities, there is need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu, because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of simple reactions. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from various types of simple reactions. Sometimes some of them cannot even acquire gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle body as ghosts. Thus, when remnants of prasadam food are offered to forefathers, by descendants, the forefathers are released from all ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in the devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.541. Devashi puttapta ninam pitranam nakin karo netemirajan sarvadnam ya saranam kato mukunda paririkatam. Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giver of all kinds of obligations, has taken to the path of, in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, sages, or general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Agyanti Mandasya Gana Gana Salakya Chakshur Militam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Vistam Stapita Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Om Vishnu Panaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasta Chai Satarine. So, when there is an unwanted children, creates a hellish situation for the family, because the purpose of living, because the purpose is living like animals, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Family traditions are forgotten nowadays in the society. Society have forgotten nowadays in the society. There is housewives and there is a public, and in the public there is prostitutes. The housewife is to assist the husband to go to the heavenly planets. The housewife, if she is trained up nicely, then she can assist the husband in dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. But if she is not trained, then she will create unwanted progeny. To walk to Calcutta is not safe. Young kids can just attack you. Even the government and the police cannot save you. If someone becomes attached to family life, possibility is that there is to become a ghost. A ghost is someone who is starving and cannot enjoy the senses. In order to enjoy the senses, one requires a gross body. For example, if you want to enjoy the rasgulla, one has to eat with a gross body. A ghost cannot eat a rasgulla. In order to relieve the forefathers from this ghostly life, offering of pinda of Vishnu Prasad was there. In Gaya, there is a deity of Krishna, Bindu Madhav, where people offer their food. But nowadays, because of degradation, no one goes to offer their food. But 5,000 years back, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and this is just before the battle starts. So Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna in half an hour. Arjuna was a Kshatriya. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, he agreed to follow Krishna's instructions. Even a common person knew the knowledge of the absolute truth. Because of Kali Yuga, people's memory will become short. Mercy will not be there. Short-lived. This is why Mahabharata was spoken for the women, Vaishyas and Dvijabandhu, and in Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita is there. I'm just repeating Prabhupada's lecture, so we can expand. Prabhupada is giving inner details. Bhagavad Gita was, unfortunately, in modern times, people take Brahmana by birth, not by qualifications. Just like son of a judge cannot become a judge. Krishna gives assurance that he will give protection if we give up our jati dharma and surrender to him. So jati dharma is where people make the rules and regulations, in their rituals, in their doing things to their forefathers, and like in modern day society, people say, government say, keep to the right, keep to the left. Certain rules on cleanliness, dealing with certain situations in society like that. But Prabhupada said in his lecture that even if a devotee doesn't follow all these rules, he just surrenders to me, Krishna is saying, then he's above all these jati dharmas. Because the whole purpose of cleanliness, purity, is there to help you to connect to Krishna. So we can see how even in different traditions in India, people have different kinds of religious principles they follow. But they may promote some level of purity and like that, but their goal is different. So Vishnu Thakur, he says that even if someone is following karma yoga, jnana yoga, but if he doesn't accept Krishna's form, then all his austerities go to nil. Because the goal is to, the human life, we have this opportunity where we can achieve perfection by surrendering to Krishna. So in one of the lectures, Prabhupada explains, he says how out of many millions of karmis, some become jnanis. Out of many millions of jnanis, one becomes a bhakta, a devotee. And out of many millions of devotees who understand something about Krishna, one becomes a devotee of Krishna. So to become a devotee of Krishna is a serious thing. It's not a cheap thing. Jayadvaita Maharaj was giving class in Kuwait, and he was explaining the importance of following the line of purity, religious principles. And this person asked the question to Jayadvaita Maharaj that, can I go on with my family life, do my work, support them, and this way do my religious principles? So Jayadvaita Maharaj explained, Krishna consciousness is above religious principles. In order to go deep into Krishna consciousness, one has to be trained by devotees. How to chant the holy name, how to practice sadhana, rise early in the morning, worship deity, hear Srimad Bhagavatam class, observe the festival days where Krishna appears in his different incarnations. In this way you become purified to the process. It says, Ado Sada Tata Sadhu Sangha Bhajana Kriya Ruchi Nista Ashakti Bhava Prema. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, even before coming to the stage of faith, one has to get the mercy of a devotee. The devotee gives you faith by his glance or through his instruction. In modern day society, people get into working very hard, they get into supporting family situations, they get into go to different holidays, but as devotees we do the same thing, but we do it for Krishna. And we do it to serve the devotees. Because everything in this world is temporary. Nothing is permanent here. Everything will... Even worshipping demigods is temporary. Because demigods will leave this body at some point. They will not stay here. So even the benedictions they give will not stay with you. But when you get Krishna's mercy, that's permanent. Because Krishna never leaves this world. He's always there. He's always here in the material world and the spiritual world. So, so there's a way to respect demigods. You give respect to them, but you give worship to Krishna. Or you see them as devotees of Krishna. Then they give you the blessings how to come towards Krishna. Modern day Hinduism, they take everything to be one. They say you can worship any path and reach the goal. But Prabhupada gives an argument to that. He says that you can't give food to any part of the body and get it to reach the stomach. You can't give food to the eyes, to the ears, to the nose. You have to give it to the mouth. So Krishna is like the stomach. He's like the center of activity. So by pleasing him, you please everybody. This is why Srila Prabhupada, he made these temples. Because someone asked Prabhupada the question, there's so many temples around, why are you making your separate temples? So Prabhupada, to the Indian man, he had his wife next to me, and Prabhupada said, who is that lady? And he said, this is my wife. So Prabhupada said, why did you marry her? There's so many women you can pick up on the street. Then Prabhupada pointed to his children and said, who are those? They're my children. So Prabhupada said, why did you get children? There's so many orphans you can pick up. So Prabhupada gives the example saying that a devotee makes a temple for Krishna to offer it to Krishna with devotion. That's what Krishna wants, our devotion. Just like he gave the example in his mind, you wanted to have reciprocation with someone, you got married. And you wanted to have some loving reciprocation, you gave children. So Krishna wants the same with us. He wants us to have the same reciprocation. That he wants us to reciprocate with him in the same way. The only thing is, the difference is, in this world there is relationship with master and servant, friend and friend, father and son, and mother and son, loved and beloved, like that. There's 5 relationships. But the relationship we have in this world is temporary, because the body itself is temporary. It will not stay forever. But if you establish this relationship with Krishna, then that relationship will never break. So, there was an example of that in many of Krishna's pastimes to show how Krishna always looked after his devotees. He never puts a devotee in a difficult situation where a devotee becomes a beggar on the street. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that my devotee never perishes. Kuntaya prajanati name bhakti panasati. He tells Arjuna, you declare that my devotee never perishes. So, in order to gain that faith in Krishna, we have to see through the eyes of scriptures. So Prabhupada emphasized this. Reading his books 1 or 2 hours every day. If you do that, then renunciation will come. And the other thing is, you serve those who are dear to Krishna. By serving the devotees, then you please Krishna. And another thing Prabhupada mentioned in one of the lectures was, in this world, you have to detach from the impermanent, become attached to the permanent. And you avoid those things which are not favorable for serving Krishna, except those things which are favorable. In this way, you become close to Krishna. And in this way, you live with the permanent, you're living with Krishna. So, that requires training. It requires so a question was asked to Prabhupada that some people say to the devotees that we've dropped our responsibilities because we couldn't do our responsibilities in the outside world, so we have become devotees now. So Prabhupada made the point, he said, the biggest responsibility is to become Krishna conscious. And just by doing that, you're doing the biggest responsibility. The goal of human life is to become self-realized. So that's the biggest responsibility. So, so that's one of the blessings in Kali Yuga actually. In Kali Yuga, you can achieve perfection very quickly. And this is due to Lord Chaitanya's mercy. That He's giving the process so easy that if you take to this chanting of Hare Krishna and you serve the devotees, you learn the science from them, end of life you go back to Krishna. No more suffering. No more accepting a material body. The sufferings are there because we identify with the body. We are thinking we are the body. But we are not the body, we are soul. So, the example is given, just like if you start a sum with a wrong calculation, then the answer will be wrong at the other end. The same thing, people miscalculate who they are. That's why the destination becomes the wrong destination. So if you understand you're not the body and your soul, you're part and parcel of Krishna, then it's easy to achieve that perfection. And this is one of the battles which happens in the material world. There are certain people who are trying to be spiritualists, following the path of disciplic succession, and their goal is to understand that they are not the body, they are part and parcel of Krishna. So, and there are many seekers who are ready to accept that. They want to accept that path because they see in the material world there is no true happiness. Happiness is very temporary. So, but then there's the other side of people who want to identify with the body. So then the suffering comes because we identify with the body. But Prabhupada gave many arguments to show this point, you're not the body. He said to a child, he said, it's pointing to his hand. Whose hand is? This is my hand. Leg, this is my leg, my head. Where are you? Where is the eye? So in this sense, we can see we're different from the body. So this is the difference between the devotees and those who are not devotees. The devotees, whether they're single or married, they benefit the world because they're uplifting human society. Whereas the non-devotees, because they identify with the body and they're dealing with temporary situations, they're not benefiting anyone. So this is why the association of who you associate with is very important. So Prabhupada gave an example. He said, if someone got tuberculosis and he has water and he drinks it, if you drink that, you get tuberculosis. So whoever you associate with, you'll get those qualities. So this is why the devotee association is very important, that they'll help you to become spiritually focused on the goal. And in time, you see the goal will be achieved. So Prabhupada said in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, he says, one can achieve perfection in 1 second or it can take millions of lifetimes. So it's how much are we ready to accept what Krishna is saying? And how much are we ready to accept how the devotees are telling us to follow the path? So that can be achieved by good association. And for those who are following this path of Krishna consciousness, Krishna, he makes a black slate that they have no obligation to anybody. He personally protects them. So the example is given, just like if someone is serving in a government office, government services, the government personally looks after them. They don't need to do anything separate. So what to say about if you surrender to the Supreme Lord who is the control of everything? If you're serving Him, how much He will look after you? So this is where the Krishna consciousness movement comes in. So, in one of the lectures, Prabhupada said, if you look at a picture of Krishna, he's happy with his cowherd boys, the cows, the gopis, with his friends, and Krishna is smiling. So Krishna is saying, if you join me, I'll make you happy like me. So hearing is very important. So you hear from proper authorities and you take on the message, in time it will follow, you'll be able to practice surrender to Krishna. So the main emphasis in this age is chanting Hare Krishna. Lord Chaitanya simplified it. He said, if simply by this chanting Hare Krishna, you can achieve perfection very quickly. And chanting Hare Krishna can be done very easily by anybody. You just have to learn the art. And Prabhupada said, even a child can chant Hare Krishna. Only the duplicitous person cannot chant Hare Krishna. But everybody else can chant Hare Krishna and achieve perfection. So it's simple for the simple and complicated for the complicated. And Prabhupada said, it's so simple you'll miss it. So just like when you come and see the deities, you have a change of consciousness, isn't it? See how attractive they're dressed. So this is just a little sight of how much attraction you get for Krishna just by seeing him. Prabhupada says in his teaching in Queen Kunti lecture, even if you're so disturbed, you can't chant Hare Krishna. You come and see the deities every day. Just by seeing the deities, you get purified. Krishna is so merciful. Eventually, you get purified to the point where your attachment to Krishna will come. And then, as the attachment comes, all the other difficulties will go away. So, any questions or comments? Okay. How you become attached to Krishna? Well, first thing you hear about Krishna. The more you hear, then attachment comes. So, Prabhupada gave an example. He said, just like you can't approach any woman on the street, you have to love me. It doesn't work like that. You have to build up relationship. Right? So same thing with Krishna. You serve him, and then you read about him, and then attachment comes. And you serve Krishna's devotees. And then you find attachment becomes stronger over time. People take association very lightly in the modern world, you know. They think socialize, go to restaurant, eat. But Krishna consciousness it's a science that whoever you associate, you become like. So, as devotees, we offer our food to Krishna, we eat like that. Just like this Sunday is Snan Yatra, bathing of Jagannath. So everyone gets a chance to bathe Jagannath. Starting at 10 or something, 10 to 1. So in this way, you come for this festival, your attachment to Krishna comes. And then you discuss about Krishna with devotees. You learn to chant his names. Only thing you have to be careful of is don't make offenses. Don't make offenses to devotees. That's the only thing you have to be careful of. And the other thing is become simple-hearted. And by doing that, then your emotions get purified. And the main problem is we are very emotional. So once you take to Krishna consciousness, your emotions get purified. And when they get purified, you don't get disturbed with the external situations in the world. There's an example of one scholar, his name was Kopanda, he was from Germany. And he was like a jnani in his room, just studying things, like a scientist. So he had a next door neighbor, a lady, she used to look through the keyhole, what he's doing. So he got so disturbed by her, he came out and pushed her down the stairs. And he injured her. So he went to court, and the court ruled out that he has to pay the lady for the rest of her life and look after her. And in his letter, when the lady passed away, Kopanda said, the bitch has died. Because he was a jnani. He was trying to do things from a limited perspective. He wasn't purified from his emotions. As for a devotee, he would have given mercy to that person. Given prasad, knowledge. So Ramanujacharya says, by taking to Krishna consciousness, you purify your emotions and you line with Krishna's plan. So the example is given just like when you're in presence of the sun, there's no question of darkness. When you turn your back on the sun, darkness is there. So being in Krishna consciousness is like you're in front of sunlight. There's no question of darkness. So from that perspective, the devil or evil doesn't really exist. That only exists because we turn our back on Krishna. So, as practitioners, our conviction of understanding Krishna has to become strong. So once that becomes strong, everything gets revealed. Because Krishna is the best friend of all living entities. He's trying to get everyone to come back to him. But unfortunately, we are holding on to material attachments. And we are trying to stay in this material world. But Krishna is teaching us the material world is not your home. You come back to me, I'll make you happy. So Prabhupada gives an argument, he says, even if you want to be miserable and you want to stay here, you'll be kicked out. Because Krishna is teaching you this is not your home. So, Prabhupada said, I have my plan, you have your plan, and Krishna has his plan. So, so, if we always go by Krishna's plan, then we'll become perfect. If you go by some other plan, we may not become perfect. Because in this world, the living entities have 4 defects. They have a tendency to cheat, make mistakes, be illusion, imperfect senses. So, if you follow a perfect leader, you become perfect. So, generally people look up to heroes in life. Without heroes, people cannot live in this world. But we have our heroes, the acharyas. Pictures are there. They're the ones who are giving us a way how to connect Krishna. So if we follow their writings and we follow their example, then coming to Krishna is very easy. So if you read the life of Srila Prabhupada, you see what difficulties he went through to spread Krishna consciousness. I think as individuals, what Prabhupada went through, we could not go through. So much difficulties he went through at the age of 70 and starting a worldwide Krishna conscious movement, and how he guided everyone to be united, different natures, how he engaged them in Krishna service, wrote so many books, established temples. So there's a book about Prabhupada's life. He said he built a house in which the whole world can live. But unfortunately in the material world, wherever there is light, there is darkness. That's the nature of the material world. So there are always people who want to be cheated. Cheated and are cheated. Just like in Mayapur, you'll be surprised, like Mayapur where Lord Chaitanya appeared 500 years back. It's the world headquarters of the Hare Krishna movement, big cities manifesting there. One person, a group of people, they made a temple for one person, claiming him to be God. Just a human, they're claiming him to be God. And this is in Mayapur. You can see, in this way, some people always want to be cheated. But if you are sincere, he says, God helps those who help themselves. So then Krishna will guide us to the devotees and he will help us in the way to come closer to him. Just like most of the majority are into family life. They have children, they have wife to look after, and their connection with relations is there. And it happens occasionally where someone passes away. So in the Vaishnava tradition, you serve the Vaishnavas, you give a feast to the Vaishnavas when someone passes away. In this way, that soul gets benefit. So there's a way to do things spiritually. Although in the Prabhupada says, for those who are doing devotional service, they have no obligation to family, society, friendship. They're relieved from that. But still, for those who have affection for their family members, that they can sponsor a feast for the devotees. In this way, the family gets benefit, the soul gets benefit. So, Krishna consciousness is for everybody, on all the different levels. Actually, to come to the highest platform, it takes many births. But if you serve the Vaishnavas, that path can be very fastly done as well. Any other questions or comments? Jai Antaraj mein Bhagavad ki Jai, Prabhupada ki Jai.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vikakanitam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Rama,